right, guys, I am at beautiful Lake Okeechobee with my buddy
James
from Lake Placid, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're not going to talk any more about Lake Placid because there's a big secret lake up there that I love to fish. But, dude, what are you doing next week?
3 weeks from now.
3 weeks from now. Okay, so what's the tournament?
High school Bassmasters state championship.
And what happens if you do good, or how good do you got to do?
We got to win our division to go to state in Kentucky.
In Kentucky. Have you done, is this your first year fishing this stuff?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Yeah, there you go with that, sir. I told him not to call me sir, dude. So what's the plan? You guys, I heard you kind of found some fish yesterday. We're not going to talk too much about that, but you know, maybe you got something that'll happen. Where are you guys fishing out of? Like, what's the boat ramp the tournament launches out of?
Rollins.
Rollins. About how many boats?
Like 200 probably.
Awesome. And how many of your friends in that do this thing? Like, how many kids from you're at Lake Placid High School? How many kids you think are on the team?
My division, I have about 10 friends that do it.
Okay.
Myself.
Well, that's cool.
But I've also met a lot of people doing it.
What's the coolest part about? Because dude, when I was I'm an old man, dude, or at least now I am. But so when I was in high school and even in college, they didn't have any of this stuff. What's the coolest part about the high school fishing?
Walking up stage with a big bag.
Walking up stage with a big bag. That's awesome.
That's really it.
Well, dude, and I see your dad over here. I mean, he's kind of making this happen for you. He's talking about getting the boat and that.
Yeah.
What do you got to say about how much he's throwing down on this?
Nah, he's worked hard. I mean, he's helped us a lot. Because we couldn't have done it without. He takes off work almost every Friday to go pre-fishing with us.
Really?
Yeah.
That's freaking huge, man. That's really cool. Well, any tips for me? I'm going out there today. I don't give up all your secrets, but I'm gonna head out here out on the lake. I got bogged freaking out and running away, but I'm about to head out, so I need some tips, dude. What's going on out there?
Find clear water.
All right.
Throw top water in the morning.
Top water in the morning. That's all
Just
you're gonna
go
give me.
find them.
That's all he's giving me. That's cool. But check this kid out. You got social media, Instagram. You want people to check out? Throw it there.
James_Swafford, SWAFORD.
Now, don't be giving away my lakes, dude, all
I
right?
won't.
Keep that on class. All right, we're going to get this thing wrapped up. Let's get out on the water and do some fishing. Good luck today. Good luck in 3 weeks, dude. All right? Well, it's always awesome to meet subscribers to the vids, and it's funny how, I don't know, really in my reality, I don't think anybody really watches the videos because I just make them and throw them out there, and that's what I do. I like making the videos. It's kind of like my hobby, dude. Some people play with trains, some people play with race cars. I freaking like making fishing videos. But it's always cool to meet guys at the ramp that, especially kids, dude, that freaking, do the high school fishing thing. They fish on their own. They fish the bank. They do whatever. They fish, dude, because that's what it's about. But he gave me a few tips on Okeechobee that he didn't share in the video, so hopefully I can use some of those. It's always cool to get a little help from the boys. And we'll go out there, see what we can get into, and hopefully catch some fish on the Virgin Voyage for Lake Okeechobee with the new boat, guys. Let's see how it rolls. All right. Nice little 2-pounder. He actually bit it a couple times, guys. I'm trying something out here. I'm gonna get her back real quick. I've been interested in that Ned rig. So I've been having trouble finding something with a decent hook and a brush guard. So I took this Gamble Ninja jig and put an O-Beast on the back of it, cut it down. We're gonna give it a try. It's a little more subtle approach. These fish are getting beat up a lot. Might be something to try. That's a good one. Well, I felt her running off with it, boys. That's a good one. Nice. Did not get a very good hook in her. It's like a 2.5-pounder. We're gonna get back in there though. That might be a bed fish. Same deal, man. On the wannabe Ned rig, let's call it. So you can see we're fishing these isolated heads right here, and it's still way early in the morning, dude, but these isolated heads are where some of the, oh my God, did you see that shake? We gotta drop it. Oh my God, there's a freaking giant right there. Oh my God. Oh my God. There, dude, those reeds just went berserk. She dropped it. Or did she pick it up? Oh my God. Dude, there's a freaking giant swimming on those reeds. But basically, so these fish, oh my God, these fish spawn on this stuff, especially later in the season. It's really key. You target really isolated stuff, and you gotta spend some time. We used to be able to catch them a lot on braid. You can still kind of do it, but now you almost have to throw fluorocarbon. And they're so moody and they're so pressured because the lake is fishing so small. Well, let's see if we can catch this one. I don't know. She was shaking around, and then, wow, that was stupid. There's the buck. Let's get back in there. She's not peeing, which is interesting. How did I break you off? Well, guys, I guess that's why you retie. That was a big one. And I screwed it up. So since I broke that thing off, let me show you real quick what I'm using on these isolated stalks out here. And actually, these are the wrong size, so I'm gonna show you for example, because I just freaking ran out. I got some other ones that I'm gonna use, but I'm using a Gambler Ninja jig. You can see right here, it's got kind of like a stand-up profile. It's not quite like the Ned rig, like I was catching them on, but that I kind of was referring this technique to, but it does make it stand up a little bit more, totally not on its head, but kind of like your standard grass jig or your casting jig. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that brush guard and do one of those jobs with it. Spread it out, and basically what that's gonna do is when I set the hook, I'm not really worried about burying the hook because I'm gonna hit them hard because I'm angry. But you're gonna spread it out. You can see it kind of fans out a little bit. And then what I'm gonna do is, here's where I do it a little different. Granted, I'm kind of stealing this. JT Kenny does this, and it's cool. He does it a little different than I do it. I go with a little bigger bait, a little bigger profile, and a little more weight. But I'm gonna take this O-Beast. I like it because it's denser plastic and it's a little bit thicker. I'm gonna cut it just above the egg sac right there. So I got like a short, fat, stubby stick bait. I'm gonna thread that thing on just like this. Super simple, don't go too far because you don't over thread. Slide it on, and what you get is this stubby little wannabe Ned rig that you can actually fish in the grass. It's not really a Ned rig. I know you're gonna give me hell for that, but that's what I've been catching these fish on in these stalks, and I think it's different than what they're seeing. The hot topic has been like freaking aces, you know, Texas rigging and that, but when you can get a bait to stand up and use like that jig and use that head to make it look different, it might be the same kind of basic setup as what you think they're saying, but that different look in the water, especially when you're dealing with the bedfish on these stalks, I think really makes a difference in getting more bites and especially triggering some of those bigger females to bite. So let's see what we can do with it. Right where she should have been. It's 2.5, and she freaking chowed it. Okay, get. Same deal, isolated stuff. All right, so one of the key baits, and I learned about it in north central Florida, when these fish are spawning and you need something to cover water in between beds, is a devil's horse style bait or a blade style bait, just like that, prop bait. So Problem is with braid, it wraps up on the blades. These are actually stoppers. They're like California stoppers. And I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 on here. They're like these, they're for split shotting. And you put them on, and what it does is it allows you to tie on that blade bait directly without you using any model leader, clip stuff, or anything like that, because they tend to get hung up. And you can just tie your regular knot then. And I can't take credit for this. This is, go check out Joe Holland on YouTube. He actually figured this out and told me about it, and I gave it a try and it worked. But you can also use like a little sleeve from a WD-40 can or something like that. Give it a lick, bring it down, and cut your tag line just as usual. And this just allows you to have another bait you can throw in super skinny water in between beds. So just like that. And then you slide those stoppers down. Don't want them to like crimp up, but see how they get in front of the blade and they keep that line up just like that, and it allows you to throw that blade bait on directly braid, which is huge. Fish on. Got one, Bob. Get. It's on that blade bait. Got it pretty good. I got Bob. Not a giant, but she sucked it on down. And that's what we're looking for him to do with that blade. And you see how I think it all curled up? Little guy though. Bring it back in there, because this is pretty prime. Well, we're gonna move. We had a pretty good morning. I lost one big one, broke her off. But there's definitely fish on these isolated heads. It's just a question of finding them in the right way. They need to be in a little bit deeper water. This time of year, a little later in the year, they tend to spawn a little bit deeper. And so we need to find isolated stuff, deeper water, fish it so slow. So we're gonna hop around. We're not gonna fish real big. We're gonna fish pretty small and just try to pick things apart, make it happen. Good one on the chatterbait in between my heads. That's one of the ones we were looking for. Oh, 3.5, 4 right there. Man, she gotta get it. Nice, that'll boost us up. Dude, I'm hopping, I hope you can see these isolated little clumps. I'm hopping between them and I just slung out that chatterbait. It's interesting with these clumps. These clumps used to be a lot bigger. They used to be big old heads. And what I'm thinking is they come up and get shallower. So it's almost like an underwater hump. And basically these fish will come up and spawn on them. That's what they did last year. And I think you can't see them as well this year, but I think they're gonna do the same thing. So, spit, we're gonna fling to these. That's a big one. That's a big one. Chatterbait, baby. Oh man. Ah, she come off. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Well, it's crazy. I'm hopping between these heads again. And the chatterbait taste just slammed it. I'm using fluorocarbon. I figure I get more bites, but dude, keeping them pinned can be tough. Well, throw out some more, right? Well, we're gonna call that a wrap for the day. Fun day. First day on Okeechobee with the new boat, and I absolutely love it. Like, dude, the way I have it set up and all the tweaks that it already came with, fly as hell. Fly as hell. Just very fishable, which is exactly what I wanted. Interestingly too, like I said in the walkthrough video, it's only like 1811 or something, so it's an 18-foot boat. Doesn't feel like it. Like, does not feel like it. Feels like a 19 and change, dude. With the deck and, you know, the way it's laid out, it really just feels a lot bigger. But recap for the day. But we caught some. Isolated stuff, like this stuff right here. See that isolated stuff? There's beds on it. And it's a question of shaking that bait, getting on there, shaking that bait, and fishing really slow. I broke 4 fish off, 2 of which were big. I don't know how big, but over like 4.5, 5. I don't know what the hell was happening. I've had that line in there. It's 18-pound Sunline Sniper, like my favorite fluorocarbon. I've had that in the boat for like 8 months. I wonder if it's brittle. I have no idea. It didn't make any sense. I was fishing with that ninja jig. I don't know if they bite it different. Something weird was going on because I don't break that many fish off, even on fluorocarbon. Just weird deal. But sometimes they do bite like that. Interesting too, always pick up another rod and try things. Our 2 biggest fish of the day, one come off about 4.5, 5, and then the other about 4, 4.5. Came on a chatterbait, hopping between these isolated clumps like this, and it was just kind of a random picking it up, trolling motor on high. So definitely something I probably should have picked up earlier, but it's good to note, you know, don't get in a rut. Don't keep doing what you're doing if it's not producing bigger bites. But we did catch some fish. One last note, there's a really big tournament out here yesterday, so I'm not super disappointed in what we caught. We actually did pretty good. I figured you'd have to fish small. Lake's been fishing small anyways. Fish small, break things down, be a little slower and a little more nuance than everybody else. But that's a wrap. New boat is sweet. Subscribe, like, support real fishing, guys. If you like the videos, definitely tell your friends about them and that. But we're gonna get out of here. I gotta get Bog back. He's starting to get hot, and I got a nice dinner planned, so it'll be kind of cool. So tight lines, guys, and hit me up if you need anything, any questions or anything along those lines. Otherwise, we will see you back on the water next time.